Honeybees are known for their ability to produce honey, which is a sweet, amber-colored substance that is often used as a natural sweetener in food and drinks. But how do bees actually make honey? The process of honey production begins when worker bees venture out into the environment in search of nectar, which is a sugary substance produced by plants. Nectar is the primary source of nutrition for honeybees, as it provides them with the energy they need to survive and perform their various tasks within the hive. To collect nectar, worker bees use their long, proboscis-like tongues to suck up the sweet liquid from flowers or other sources. They then store the nectar in a special stomach called the honey crop, which is located just below their head. Once the honey crop is full, the worker bees return to the hive and transfer the nectar to other worker bees. These bees then begin to process the nectar by chewing on it and breaking down the complex sugars into simpler ones. As they chew the nectar, the bees also secrete an enzyme called invertase, which helps to further break down the sugars. In addition, the bees add small amounts of wax and other substances to the nectar, which helps to preserve it and give it a thicker consistency. After the nectar has been processed, the bees store it in special cells within the hive known as honeycomb. The honeycomb is made of beeswax, which is secreted by special glands on the underside of the bee's abdomen. The bees use their mandibles, jaws, to shape the beeswax into hexagonal cells, which they then fill with the processed nectar. Once the cells are full, the bees seal them off with more beeswax to prevent the honey from drying out or being contaminated by outside elements. Once the honey is stored in the honeycomb, the bees must evaporate the excess water from it in order to turn it into the thick, sticky substance we know as honey. To do this, the bees use their wings to fan the honeycomb cells, which helps to circulate air and speed up the evaporation process. As the water evaporates, the honey becomes more concentrated and takes on its characteristic amber color. Once the honey has reached the proper consistency, the bees seal off the cells with more beeswax to protect it and keep it fresh. The bees will continue to produce honey throughout the year, as long as there is a steady supply of nectar available. During the spring and summer months, when flowers are in bloom and producing nectar, the bees will be able to collect and store large amounts of honey. In the fall and winter, when nectar is scarce, the bees will rely on the honey they have stored in the hive to survive. They will consume the honey as a source of energy and nutrition, and will continue to fan the honeycomb cells to keep the honey from crystallizing. Once the bees have produced enough honey to sustain themselves through the winter, they will stop collecting nectar and focus on maintaining the hive and caring for the young bees. In summary, the process of honey production involves worker bees collecting nectar from flowers or other sources, processing it with the help of enzymes and other substances, storing it in honeycomb cells, and evaporating the excess water to turn it into honey. This sweet, amber-colored substance is then used by the bees as a source of energy and nutrition throughout the year.